everybody, Yarn Girl here to bring you yarn. Not a lot of yarn, but hopefully enough. I really need to do this more frequently. I really enjoy it. I love giving you guys updates, and when I wait this long, it like takes forever for me to get started. But I am here and we are going. This week alone, my head went crazy. When stuff starts popping and I get all these design ideas, I always say my head's about to explode or my head's imploding or something. Because it's true. Cold brew. I got my cold brew herbal tea. Flash froze grapes. I washed them and got the salt on and off and got all the waxy, nasty, dirty off of it and made it into a tea. Made the grapes into flash freeze so that they're the ice cubes. And here's a blueberry vinaigrette because, well, there's a reason for that. And the reason for the raspberries. And the reason for my room being full. Next door, like right there. It's like, hello, life. I don't know if this thing is going to twirl, but let me try to twirl you. Close your eyes. Okay, so there we have the cart. Whoops. And there we have the little iGo. Nice quiet machines, right? And then it's like the doctor's office moved in. That big beastie over there is because the battery gave out for the little iGo. And that there is yarn. Anyway, that big thing, it can make tanks. So that's why there's a tank on it. It can actually fill the oxygen tanks, which I thought was kind of cool. Sorry, I hope nobody puked. I never like it when people move stuff around. I don't know how to bring them around. Honestly, that's a lot right there. 2 new diagnoses, and I'm just like, okay, where's it all end? Because this is crazy. All of it's crazy. Okay, so late last night, I haven't been able to sleep for like a month. Not a month. It's been a while. Late last night I got up and I was checking out what to do with these bad boys. They go all the way up from this like 20-foot tall, okay, it's not 20 foot tall, down to like the little D, and that's the one that I carry around all over the place. I found a lady who's making fabric covers for the cart one. That's a bad picture. Anyway, she leaves it open, she reinforces it for the place where the screw has to go, which I thought was cool. And then this other lady, she makes them for portable concentrate things, which is like the backpack thing that you have to carry. What I want is covers for the little tiny D tanks that I'm going to be making. So these were her little faces and stuff that I really thought were so cute. Look at the peacock, and he's got little nubbins. So I thought, why? I can design this stuff. I don't have a problem cranking out a bunch of cross stitch. And I have all the googly eyes and all the little noses and little bears and everything. So, in my spare time, that I have none of, that's where I'll be. Okay, so 3 designs, just bam, bam, bam. And they're screaming so loudly that I've got to do them because they're just bad. I can't show you the design. But what I can show you, gee, I really can't even share that. People take stuff, and I can't show the way that thing is made. Okay, you don't even know what I'm talking about. The blanket for this year, I never got it out. I did the cloak instead, and now this blanket has been niggling and fermenting for about a year, maybe longer. I can't remember. It's pieces that don't have to be pieced. Like you could knit it on as you're going, or if you turn it this way, you could keep going and work off the edge. If that's not your penchant, you could totally like pick up all the way around and just go. You'd have to do a little bit of, but you could just go. That one's called Meet Me in St. Louis. The reason for it is there's little, what do you call those things? The things that sit at the top of the doors and then they have the molding around the doors? Those little circly things were prevalent in the house that they filmed, or studio, whatever. Judy Garland and I can't remember who, Margaret, somebody. Anyway, meet me in St. Louis, meet me at the fair. Because of those little, that's it. No big, huge, we're going to go say hi to Judy. Nope, just those little squares. And so far, I've got yarn, the only yarn I have, pretty much to share. And this is not all of it, because we have to do 15 skeins when we're doing the blankets. But these are some of the lighter colors. I absolutely love that one. No matter what I dye that on, it comes out just gorgeous. So it was supposed to be yellow into emerald, but I didn't want to do the emerald, so I went right into aqua. And then I went into sky, and then the blue, and wait till you see, holy cow, the stuff that's in the air dryer right now, it's like super saturated tanzanite, 2 skeins of black, 2 skeins of super saturated gorgeous righteous. That color is just, I love that color. That's like, and the yarn, never used it. I know, but I don't get to knit much, you know that. Don't tell me so. I don't get to knit. You're lucky you get to knit. Speaking of which, I'm getting these done on June 6th, so it's not going to be too long. Yeah. Oh, you guys. Oh, this is the new siren stuff that I've been trying to encourage all of you to get instead of MCN, because y'all love my Milky Silky, but you haven't met Sock Fine. Siren Sock Fine is just... Okay, so for starters, it's 17.5 microns. 21 micron is pretty much industry standard, 21.5. I've had some in stock up to 25. Itchy VM in it. You're going to find some barbed wire every now and again. It's nasty. So this stuff is 17.5, which makes it have the feel and hand of cashmere. It's just so soft. And it doesn't matter how bad I treat it, it just comes out so soft every time. Kevin's out there fighting the wind and the weather and the cold, and he's screaming because the water comes back up at him because of the wind, and he's, ah! I only gave him a few skeins, but yeah, he did a great job, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. This is 85-15 superwash merino nylon. Nothing special, right? Yeah, it is. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to have my bestie, she made me a rug, a blankie that I sleep with every night, and you hold the 2 skeins together, and then you drop one, and you keep going with the next color, and you drop one, so that you're going with the next color, and you keep doing that. And the way that I've got you going on and off the shawl is just, it's amazing balls. I love it. Question, answer me in the notes. Should I turn this into a green? Emerald, I'm thinking, because this is the next color, and this is an eyesore. It's like, what? What were you thinking? We can make little faces and outline the yellow, make yellow eyes or something. I don't know. So, okay. After Meet Me in St. Louis, I found in there this beautiful 6 wedge shawl, heirloom style, but for beginners. We knit it on 1 or 0, I don't know. I'm still working with the mill about the yarn that I want to use. 6 wedges, so it's just, front and back, easy peasy, not a lot of knitting. Normally when we do heirlooms, you use 6,000 yards, size 0 or 00, and you go on for 700 or 800 rows. This one will be back at 500, I think. And the yarn will be more of a fine lace weight. Crazy cats. About 1,400 meters per 100 grams. That's a little bit finer than our Pixie line. So there's this one, and the design, it just was like, arf, arf, take me home, I know what I'm doing. And so I did. It's gorgeous. So, okay. So then what happens, I realized, well, we still haven't done the heirloom, the real heirloom. And I'm like, well, we got the yarn. I bought 5 kilos of it. Y'all need it. Y'all need to get it now. It's a 55-45 silk wool blend. And it is not true cobweb. It's more like 58, 48. I can't remember, but it's not completely that thin stuff. So I kept remembering somebody saying, I thought we were doing a square last year. So this year, we're doing a square. It's been a while. And it's not going to be just a square. What it's going to be is a tessellating, not tessellating. What's the word? A square and a square. You know? So you start with the square, and then you diamond it, and then you square it, and then you diamond it. Okay, so when you do this, you have a big triangle right here. In the big triangle, there's this big flower. It's amazing. Then to get there, you start with the big flower, and then you go out in these leaf lines, like trees, sticks, stuff. And then, so it tessellates, and then you have that's the wrong word. Then you have the triangle with the big flower, and then you have vines all the way around the whole thing, like some kind of briar patchy, I don't know, but this is my roses. My roses are covering the whole front of our house, and I am thrilled that they haven't died. No thanks to me. So that one's going to be a lot of hard lines and beauty. The rose 6 wedge is going to be very soft and gorgeous. Okay, knitting. Yeah. Okay, so do you remember when I was in the back room on the last video, I was showing you the doll, yeah, the mannequin. She had stuff covering her, like, for a month, I guess. I finally took it down. I needed to block. I was a little afraid of blocking. You know me, got nobody. Nobody to call my own. And you have to, like, crawl around in your hands and your blah, blah, blah. So I finally did it. And when I had seen Katie last time, she had said, oh, I didn't want to block that one, Mother of Dragons, the big blue one, because it has moth holes all over it. And I was like, I didn't see any. And I had worked on it. I had to do a few rows and bind off and do some beading. And finally, I went and washed it. And I'm glad we do that little terry stomp thing, where you roll it up in a terry cloth and walk on it so that the water comes out. Yeah, it was like, it was bad. Must have been 8 big huge holes my nemesis made on that thing. And instead, because of everything, I just pulled, you know, I'd find the end and I'd find the other end and I'd tie them together real good. And I just kept doing that because trying to work it back into pattern, I could not see myself ever doing that without poking my eyes out, literally. You know I'm capable. So I finished that one, I blocked it. Same day, I blocked the vest that was back there, the sleeveless vest. It's awesome. And I can't believe it. Okay, so do you remember, like a long time ago, I was on this crazy, I can knit, and I cast on Dream in Color Swooshy. I finally got some swooshy. I got some swooshy socks. We're gonna dance. We're gonna dance. And you're getting dizzy and wanting to puke, right? Pearls, because it's nice, not rice. That's why I always make my pearls on the outside. And then this is just a basic chevron pattern. I don't know. I just went with the 29 stitches I had. And then I bound off with some little weedy. So these are great for like the winter or the summer. You know, I live in LA. It's hot here. When I have socks on my feet, I start broiling. This is one of those things I didn't tell you about yet. So, finally, after seeing, 4 doctors and being 2 years into it undiagnosed, they have finally, I went and switched my PCP. He was starting to put everything in fibromyalgia, said that my leg was fibromyalgia. My leg looked like an elephant leg. It was huge. I gained 20 pounds in like very short order. I couldn't get the compression socks on back then because it was just screaming, lots of screaming. And then when I would try to take off the bandage for like my Achilles tendonitis or something, screaming, lots of screaming. It was bad. So finally, I have been diagnosed with evidently something that people just don't, doctors, they don't either know about or don't, I don't know what the deal is, but it's called lymphedema. and it's my lymph nodes are not draining, therefore you have edema, which is elephant leg and water, and lots of water. I started with my new doctor about a week and a half or two ago, and he has been all kinds of nice. I have so many doctors, you guys. This new guy hasn't asked to meet me or anything. He knows my situation, and he sees all the stuff that I go through, and you know, so whatever. He hasn't made me go in to see him, which I'm grateful for, because I have so many things coming up that require me to go off the hill. Can you see that? I look like some kind of abused. My cat loves me. She loves me. Yeah, I know she loves me. Like a rock. Okay. Dr. Tran, amazing man. So glad I'm hooked up with him. He barely was with me for like 5 minutes. He's like, lymphedema. I'm like, finally, really? Unfortunately, as I'm going through the books and learning, it's irreversible. So the damage that's been done is going to stay there. There's no way of getting rid of it now. What do I mean by damage? Damage in that it can immediately go, you know, overnight if something bad were to happen. If I were to ingest a grain of salt, yeah, or accidentally get some kind of food that's salted. I'm so sensitive now that it's immediate. Like within 2 days, I'm huge, and it's gross, and wow. So along with that, there's this lovely thing of bark laying over top of my skin, where there's these trenches, and it's hard, and you can't pinch it, and when you do touch it, it leaves behind deep gullies of pitting edema. I always say that. My last doctor was like, okay, let's stop talking about enemas. It's like, oh God. Okay. So yeah. That was one. I have big, huge boots, and I have to wrap it, and there's like this big lump. God, you guys, I was not supposed to live this long. I was supposed to die young and pretty. That was the idea. What happened? So, the other doctor that I went to see was also a specialist. He's a neck surgeon, which I have that cervical stenosis with myelopathy. We're getting an MRI soon here to find out how much damage COVID did and all the coughing. I split my abdominal wall, so surely that's, you know, a thing, maybe. I don't know. It'd be nice if it wasn't. I don't like thinking about that one. Oh, is that still there? This came from, like, no reason. Doesn't hurt or anything. It's just this thing. It's like, I'm old. I don't like this. Take me out now. Ah! So, the other that came from Dr. H is GERDs and silent reflux, which is a whole nother path and a whole nother big, yeah. My GI doctor, okay, so undiagnosed all this time. I was 25 years old when I first had symptoms. I was rushed to the ER thinking, my coworkers were thinking I was having a massive coronary. And what it was that esophageal sphincter just tightening up and screaming. I've been having chest pain. I've been seeing cardiologists this entire time. My entire life, no one has stepped up and said, lady, you're eating wrong. I don't know all the things. I wish I knew all the things that I did. Something. It's bad. My husband sent me a link. Evidently, there's a lawsuit up against General Mills because Lucky Charms causes gastroenterological blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. I didn't have to eat it, and that's what I always bring down to. I don't know. I deprived myself for so many years. I've been gluten free for all these years. I haven't been doing diddly squat, and it was because I thought I had some sort of allergy, when actually what it seems to be is some sort of intolerance because of all the stuff that goes along with GERDs. I started a year and a half ago with the ulcer surgery and almost died. And you think that my doctor, my specialist who did it, could tell me these things? There's PPIs, protein pump inhibitors, that you take that causes the stuff to go away. So you don't have the heartburn, you're not aspirating on vomit in the middle of the night, you're not waking up choking to death. It's bad. It's not a walk in the park. I have the whole of it. I don't have a little bit, I get the whole of it. So my entire gut across the breathing thing, diaphragm, yeah, it hurts, the whole dang thing all the way. And now I'm starting to understand why. I don't understand it. I don't understand. That's a lie. I do not understand it. I probably never will understand it. But I'm starting to get a handle on something. I knew my diet was bad and I knew it had to be addressed, but it's comfort food like my therapist says, and I've been through a lot in these last year and a half. And I can't take anymore. I hit a wall and I asked God for help because I couldn't take it. And all of a sudden, I've got 2 new diagnoses. Why do they come in packs of 2s? What's the deal with that? Man. So what? They come in packs of 2s. So yeah, GERDs, lymphedema. I've only been doing this, the GERDs stuff, trying to identify trigger foods and getting all the food out. We're in the woods, and thank God for misfits because I got some things in, not a lot, but most of the stuff here, you can't eat from a package. You can't just make a jelly sandwich. Peanut butter. There's peanut butter in there. Tahini's good. That's sesame butter. I'm learning about all these things that I've never tried before, which is kind of interesting. That Romanesco wanna be a broccoli cauliflower with trees? I don't know what it is. That's right. Okay, so all of the sniffling, sneezing, sick stuff that I've been going through, it's GERDs. It makes mucus, and the mucus stays in there, and it won't move. And my lung doctor's like shaking his head going, I don't know what's wrong with you, but try this. He gave me this PEP, pulmonary whatever, and it's supposed to you inhale and exhale and it feels like somebody's beating on your lungs, just shaking you up, and it loosens the secretions so that they can come out with the cough that's supposed to come on the heels of this little device. I just do what I'm told. I haven't been coughing, so I don't know if it's the GERDs or if I really don't. If I don't have mucus in my lungs, that's like, thank God, I need a break, and we're right there. I swear, I was looking over the edge, man, going, where do I jump? If I land on my head, will I just, shatter my spine and be a paraplegic for the rest of my life? That would happen. So I thank God that some of this stuff is having answers, and even if there's no cure, at least I can do some things to make myself feel better. The leg is down, it's smaller, I lost 10 pounds this week, and it's because it was water. It's still coming out, it's amazing. I don't know where it's coming from. I had to cut back on my diuretics. That's not something I get upset in years. And they've got me on one of the biggest guns out there, so it'll be nice to go back down to Lasix. Yeah. So I showed you my new socks. I didn't show you 2012 Mario shawl. This is Sequest Century, and I don't believe I don't think this is out, you guys. I think this was a me and him, and that we never finished. I didn't finish. I'm a very bad girl. But it was for the Queen's anniversary. You know how he loves the Queen. Loved. And so, yeah, there's all these gold beads because I was thinking about the Queen, and she's highfalutin, so she gotta have some beads. And then I was like, well, it's gotta be white because, it's the Queen. I don't know. I'm just glad I can laugh about it now. I miss the heck out of my man. Our man. Big burly guy. Okay, who's next? Oh, I told you about the heirlooms and I didn't share. So these are the colors that I like for it. Oxblood. This one, I'm like, something's wrong with me. Blue violet, I'm like all over it lately. And I think this one, this is sage, blue sage. I don't understand that, but whatever. I don't have to. Okay, oh. You guys, I want to knit an heirloom so bad. Pray for me. I want my hands back. Getting those done on the 6th. My back comes back. No, my hands are in. Ooh, I love it when this happens. My hands are at the end of this month. Yay! So I take a week off after he shoots me, and then they're good again for a while. A couple of months. And I can knit a little. I need to stay away from these big things and that big thing, but I want to cast on that big thing. Oh, I want to knit all the things. Yeah. So this is the 6 wedge. I love this one. I think that's a magenta or color. Can't remember who you are. Yeah, I got a thing with these purples, guys. I don't know what the deal is, but I got a thing with them. And this was my red velvet. Kind of looks like a red velvet cup. It really kind of does. I didn't do too bad with that one. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get it, and it's much more brown in real life. I've got a light going on up here. Okay, so vinegar, right? I go to Walmart. I can't sleep anymore, so I'm at Walmart, virtual Walmart, in the middle of the night. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I ordered the vinegars so that I could make my blueberries because I knew Misfits was coming. So the next day at 10 o'clock, the box is on the floor. Like, what is this? How did they do that? How did they do that? I ordered it too. It was here by 10. That's insane. What do you want? Come here. Come here. So I'm getting some red raspberries because the gourds, I can't have all the junk. There's like stuff in everything. Sugar, xanthan, blah, 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 blah. All these chemicals. Who needs it? So I was very sad. I opened a beautiful vinaigrette bottle. I thought it was going to be awesome. I thought it was just raspberry vinegar, but it was raspberry vinaigrette. It had like a cup of sugar in it. That stuff was so sweet I had to throw it out. Very sad, because I know that stuff's not cheap. And my husband does try. What do you want? Come here. Come. Come. I can't get up. So, other than that, I also have 28 grams of CBD, and it's on the boil. And this is all I have. I can't believe it. These are for filling, you know, the stuff. I've got something like a gallon, guys. I think I've got a gallon. These are not going to hold it. So, last night, I couldn't sleep. And I went to Paper Mart, and I bought those the straight-sided jars. I love those things. Come here. Come here. Come here. It's okay. Come here. So yeah. That's going. It's a mess right here, right now. And I love it. I love being able to do these things because it makes me feel like I used to. Like I can contribute, you know? I think it's very important that we stay with purpose. Without purpose, life can be very scary. Really scary for me. So, oh yeah. Okay, so last night, when I couldn't sleep, I found Tilly Rose. She's a textile artist. She does a lot of like journals. She does all kinds of like handsy, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say what it is. Because it's not like you have to sew this here. It's like, you can do this, or why don't you try doing this, or throw some of that on there. And it's all like really, really pretty. She makes a lot of really pretty stuff. She calls it slow stitching. So today when I found her, I went all over the place and subscribed to everything. I really want to do that because, do you remember this? Did I show you guys this? I made this so that when we went to Alaska, I would have a place to keep my card and stuff. It's basically just your, standard crazy quilt with all the embroidery and stuff. What I want to do is make, you guys are knitters, come on, you sew, right? I would make like a template of like the pattern and then like cross stitch it in the separate different colors, and have these, like, can you see? Yeah. Okay, so you see like the little dooley-doos? That's supposed to be like a lace pattern, but a lace pattern that you put together like these. So I'm thinking all I have to do is make that, make the colors, and then like afterwards to put specialty stitches and crystals and fun things. So then what do you do with it? I don't like stuff that just sits around, never gets used. Even if you pin it to a wall and shoot arrows at it, I still don't consider that use. So you get the little 6, right? I think actually it's a 5, and you get another 5, and you get a gusset. That's what you call the band that goes all the way around. And then you stick it in one of those fancy old, those things that are so hard to sew, that thing. It could either be like a bag, or it could even be like a book. Like you could skip the gusset and just use it for needles or a thread or something special like jewelry or whatever. I love little things, and I love making all the things, and all I ever want to do is make all the things. So yeah, I'm stuck in a crazy mood today, yes guys. Round robins. Do you remember my round robin, the frog? I got a bone to pick first. I cannot believe this. All my life, I have wanted to buy Cafe Facette, K-A-F-F-E, that guy. I love his visual design and how he comes out with all this gorgeous stuff. I am so disappointed. I finally spent a lot of money on a stack of fat quarters. I was joining a club. I thought, ooh, you know, this is nice. Spoil yourself. You can do this. It came in, and the fabric was so fine and see-through. It's the kind of stuff that I throw out when I buy it by accident. How sad is that? That to me was just the saddest thing, because he makes absolutely gorgeous purple, blue, and green, and I am the purple, blue, and green girl. So you're not going to be able to see this. Have you seen this? I put this up already. This is my daughter's round robin. Her first ever round. She made the center, and then everybody else contributed. This is mine. I've started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the whole quilt. Like, this is Lorraine's down here, and I'm just going to put stuff all over it. Because I make purple trees, evidently. Isn't that cool? I love this thing. And I'm going to keep adding all those little flowers and all the tree vines and the tree limbs and the tree leaves, and all I've been doing is ironing more fabric and cutting it out and getting it ready to put on. I thought I wanted the bottom to have a pond, frogs, killer bunnies that are running from rattlesnakes. Seriously. But it turns out I don't think I'm going to do that. I think now that I just want to keep going with all these flowers, and you know, there's roots down in the corner. I could even cut those out, or maybe, well, trees, they don't grow from the bottom. I don't know what to do for that. I'll figure it out though. Oh, and then the last thing, and I swear it's the last thing. I quit. Starting to lose it here. Guess I don't have that thing today that I thought I had. I'm making books, you guys. I'm making really cool books. Books that have a place to hold my notes and stuff, because this is my medical journal-y type thing. Not my real medical journal. I have another one for that. Yes, I have a lot of books now. I've been binding like crazy, and I've been storing, saving, buying, stashing, stocking, I don't know what, all of these papers for like years. I've been, you know, and this was the stuff that I used for the stitch marker tins that I used to send out. So now I get to do this. That's my food journal, so that I know what it is that's doing what to me. This one is gorgeous, and it's trying to help me learn how to make cross-stitch patterns. Don't get me started. And then this one's just for fun. I love the pattern of the paper. They're just gorgeous. You know what I realized? I told you I've been stocking, right? And I have a whole closet back there that's full of paper. And guess what? Hardly any purple, blue, and green. It's all like pastels and red and green, and it's a lot of G45, and they do a lot of red and green and orange and blue. I don't know. It's just not my colors. And I can't believe that I have that now. Like, what happened? So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put, like, okay, so this is like the one, maybe two blue things that I have. Put it with the blue to emphasize and bring out the blue. So if I have something that's got this little tiny flower over here, and that's the only blue one in the page, then I can, you know, shove it forward and give it place. I made it, you guys. I don't know how. Sometimes I have these things that I go through, and I think, I'm not going to make it. One more day. I made it one more day. I'm glad you guys are here and that you put up with me, because it's nice to not feel completely at odds and alone. I got my people, but they're never here, you know. It's me and the dog and the cats. And the cats. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are here with me. I hope you have a great day. Bye.